Well, I hope everybody can hear me okay. Good morning. I see Cindy's on here. Looks like Lucinda had to go to the hospital to get some work done on a cyst. Prayers out for Lucinda. Hope you're doing okay. Um, if you get back in time, give us a shout. Let us know how you come out, Lucinda. Uh, Tammy B, good morning. Marla, good morning. Looks like you're jumping back and forth between Guapos and my channel. I hope everything's okay with Guapo over there. Uh, anyway, good morning to everybody out there. I do have a cup of coffee. This morning I had a pretty decent sized breakfast. I had eggs over easy, 4 links of sausage, maple flavored. I seared them a little bit so that I get some of the goodies off from it. And then once I had them seared, I warmed all the way through. They were pre-cooked. I threw my eggs in there and let them cook a little bit slow. Flipped them over easy. I had 2 pieces of toast with cottage bread toast with butter, then peanut butter over that, and jelly over that, and a big glass of milk. So I had one heck of a breakfast today, and I'm wide awake for at least for a little bit. I see Kitty Mama in here. How you doing this morning? Noreen, good morning, Noreen. My coffee's a little bit strong this morning. I overdid it a little bit. I had too many things going all at once, and something always is either overcooked, undercooked, or forgotten, or something like that line. I'm still learning all the ins and outs of all the different meals. My wife used to take care of almost all that. I mean, I did cook breakfast quite often for her. That was one of the things that I could do that was easy and somewhat repetitive. Oh, heck. And I don't feel too bad. The snow is starting to accumulate out there pretty good. It's still snowing right now. Big flakes this morning when I woke up. I've got about 4 inches of snow on top of the couple inches that were dropped the other day. So out in the open, I've got at least 6 inches that on my driveways, and the road hasn't been cleared out there. So I suppose when the city decides to plow it, one of us is going to have a snowbank. It'll be a couple foot tall for sure. Now let's see what else I got. Oh, it's cold. 5 degrees out there. And luckily the winds aren't very high, just kind of slow drift. But if they were high, we'd have big drifts out here and be really miserable. Well, how you doing this morning there, John? I'm glad to see you on here. Oh, I haven't spent much time looking at other channels the last few days. I've been so darn busy with things. I'm going to be busy this afternoon. This will be one of the days I've got to do the things I should have been doing all week. The hair from my pets are accumulating in the corners. So I'm going to be extra busy with a chore I just do not like at all. Let's see. Caddy, good morning there. Yeah. Well, have we got some good things to talk about that's going the right way? Or, this is the Christmas season, brings back hopefully joy to your family. Looking forward to the big meals, the big get-togethers, the talking over the things, the accumulator that you did all year or planned on for next year. It's always Tank Girl. Good morning. Let's see. Wow. That's good news. Tank Girl had her eyes worked on. She's got better than 20/20 vision. That's amazing. She wore glasses since she was 3. Now at 51, she has better than 20/20 vision. It's amazing what these optometrists can do nowadays. I know I've had cataract surgery on both eyes. I've had implant lenses, and I've had my eyes. I went back not too long ago and had them re-laser around where the lenses are and clean them up where cataract actually grew up to the lens again. Cindy, please send big prayers to everybody out there. DRD, Diane. Good morning, Ray and Chatters. Well, good morning, Diane. We're glad to see you in here. I hope everybody's got a little better weather outlook than what I've got around here today. I'm really not looking forward to having to go out there and do the driveways, and I'm kind of opting out not to get out there in that. It little makes it hard for me to breathe out there in that type of weather. And I've got a bunch of stuff that are coming here that I'd purchased from Amazon. Some time ago, I bought jeans, smaller jeans than what I've had in a lot of years. And turns out they're a little big. So I went in their size lower, bought one pair. I'm going to give them a try and see if they work. I'm trying to get clothes that are comfortable on me that don't fall off. Surgery, not surface. Okay, Tank Girl. Bobby, good morning. John, that guy that you got the other day that you had to knock him off the channel, he come back and was making remarks on my last night. I put up just a blog up there for a minute. He was back on there, made a couple remarks, and I took him off. I don't know what's wrong with him. He just doesn't. He's pretty negative for some reason. I don't know if that's just his disposition or if he's in Jeremy's group and just is out there trying to cause problem. I have no idea. I hate taking him off forever because it might be he's just in a bad mood. Who knows? Cindy says she's under a advisory right now. Well, a little while ago, you could only see about, I'd say a couple hundred feet at the most down the road. And that's in, the bright light of the day. If the wind was to kick up, it would be a whiteout out there. The snow is extremely fluffy because of the cold temps. So I got my fingers crossed that it doesn't get that way. Tank says it's been a shitty year, but ending well. I finally collect my new camper on Thursday after a few weeks delay. Yeah, I bought a camper, and it's a used one, 2018, and it always been kept inside except when they took it on trips and things like that. And it's been on some pretty good trips. It was down to Dolly World, I guess, last year for these people for their vacation. And they like camping so well, they went in and bought a brand spanking new truck and a fifth wheel camper. So when I bought that travel trailer, he gave me everything it takes with it. Special hitch, new tires, boy, I just can't. I mean, there's a lot of accessories. So I came out great. I was pretty happy. The only thing I don't have is a cover for the camper. I may go ahead and purchase one. The travel trailer looks like brand new. Yeah, John. All I did was just I took his remarks. He had 2 of them on there last night on mine. I took those remarks off. Is all I did. I don't know what his problem is. Maybe he'll explain a little more later if he comes on. I've got this. The only people can come in here, they have to have been a member, but not a member. They have to sub to my channel for at least a day to be able to make remarks, and that stops most of them, because a lot of them that come in to make trouble, they join it long enough to be in the chat, and then when the channel's over, they're off. And I think I lost in the last week maybe another 100 subscribers. So somebody really liked what I had, I guess. Like I said, I only lost 100. But they're probably better off somewhere else if they were upset over what I actually say on here. 'Cause I'm pretty mild compared to most out there. And I rarely attack unless somebody is trying to rub my nose in the dirt or something. PG journalist, I wonder why. It happens. I've still got a lot of carryovers on my channel from Larry Foreman. And, they're pretty much backers of Hales or some of the other ones out there, whether it be Megan or Tug, or they've got some new ones out there too. I happened to run across. They appeared in my recommendations on the side of my screen the other day, and I looked at one of them. They only have I think like 60. I think it's 60 subs or something like that. And I thought, well, they must be brand new, but they've been around a while. But they just started a few months ago back in Jeremy. So they're starting to pick up subs from that. And they're starting to appear with, that's a woman. I didn't take any special notice other than she definitely was anti-Lisa. So Lisa has some new people out there that are coming on her channel that don't like her, but at least she gets some credit for having somebody on there when they come after her. Grandma Buckeye, good morning, Ray. Yes, I can comment when want you to know. Love your content. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tanya, how are you doing this morning? I'm right in the middle of this storm coming through here, Tanya. I don't know if you're getting the edge of it down there or not, but that stream that's going from the northwest to the southeast, I'm almost dead center in that stream that's coming down there. And I already have 4 additional inches since last night. Oh, let me see. I'm going to expand it, make this a little bigger so that it's easier to read. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it says, let's see who we got. Here we go. Mine's an old one, but it's exactly what I wanted for a few years now. It's a little van compared to those huge American ones you guys have. I'll send you some photos when I get back home with it. My RV is says it's a Freedom on it, and I believe it's 28 feet long, and it's got in the very back, it's got those bedrooms that fit like in a corner, or beds rather. They're twin beds, one over the other, but they're in the corner. And then the bathroom is on the other side. In other words, it's split in the back. Bathroom on one side and bunk beds on the other side. And it has curtains to, for privacy to the rest of the channel. And then the main bedroom is all the way to the front, up by the tongue. And it has queen size bed in there. And the wall that's on the end of it, the TV sits in there, and you can spin the TV so you can see it if you're in the bedroom, or you can spin it and see it in the living room, kitchen. It's the living room and kitchen are one big room, and the slider's there. The slider slides out with the couch and the cafeteria booth type thing that slides out with it. And then the kitchen is opposite side, the sink and countertops, the electrical panel, and it's down low. My furnace is on that side. I have an outside shower set up out there. I have an outside grill that comes out. Everything that's on there, even though it's a 2018, was spotless. And I was looking for something that wasn't brand new because I didn't want anything made during COVID. And this one pretty much met everything I want. The guy had a decent price on it. I didn't try to bargain him down or anything. I just said, hey, that's great. But the best part of it is he gave me all the extra equipment with it. So sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. I didn't bargain down mainly because it was good shape. And I didn't know how many others were looking at it. How you doing there, Edie? Is it Eddie or Edie? Anybody else get in here? Sometimes when I'm talking away, I don't see who all's in here. I think, I'm not sure, but John, I think probably mine is similar to that one that you and Michelle bought. On the outside, it looks almost identical to it. So. It's nothing anywhere near what my last motorhome was, but I didn't want to go back to another motorhome. I just wanted something that was cheap to use, easy to pull. It only weighs I think it's a little over 7,000 pounds. It's just got the one slider on it. The sliders take up a lot of extra weight on them, and you really don't need that many unless you're going to spend a lot of time in it. And I don't plan on living in it. The main reason I bought it was so I can go down to Florida this spring, take care of business that I've got to take care of down there. And then up here, I'll probably use it for fishing. And I'll probably, visit my kids with it from time to time. It's just easy to pull up to it, hook it to my truck, and go down the road. For all practical purposes, it's ready to go right now. The only thing I'm going to do is I'll pull all the tires on it this spring, check them, make sure everything's good to go on it, grease the bearings, test all the lighting out, and I'll fill my LP tanks. I get 2 tanks on the right set on the tongue. So I already got the new batteries in it, and I've got my power hooked up to it, keep it trickled, and keep everything else to your standard whatever I need out there. Let's put it that way. Oh, Tanya says doing good cooking and baking today. Let's see, I think you're about a little over an hour from me. What time's a good time to come down and test your baking? Oh, Helen, good to see you on here. Hope you're feeling okay. Grandma Bucky, hello, John and Marla. Wish the best for you. I always wish the best for everybody that's out there. Tank said the van was a good price too, less than half the size of your travel trailer. My boat I live on is only 39 by 12 foot. That's a pretty good sized boat, man. The biggest one I've ever owned was, I don't know if it was 24 or 26 feet. I had one that had like a little kitchenette in it, and the bed was clear up into the bow up there. It had it did have, I think, seats on one side. It was pretty small, really, down below, but there was plenty of room up on top. You could set up there. You get like 3 or 4 people in the stern fishing if you wanted. And it had there's a pretty small motor in it. It might have been only a 302 in there. It wasn't very big. It wasn't it didn't get out there and scatter or anything like that. It was kind of a heavy boat. Oh. Edith, okay. Oh, well, Edith, do you have a nickname you'd rather have us call you? Because we can certainly do that. Chocolate chip cookies. Oh, they're good. One of the cookies I like is oatmeal cookies with chocolate chips in them. Helen says that she's good. Great. Okay, Tanya. You're from Southeast Iowa. You must be down there by Burlington or Keokuk. You'll meet me halfway, but not till it warms up. All right, that sounds great. Helen says, I want to make some fudge if it gets warm enough here in Florida. Too warm and it won't set right, especially if it's humid. Yeah. I don't know what you can do in conditions like that. My mom made fudge all the time. I used to love to help her out a little bit. She takes, when you're testing it, you throw it in a little bit, drip it into cold water and see how it forms up. Well, when she'd throw it in the water, then I always got that little bit that the first taste, but I got to check it out and make sure it would firm up enough to be making the squares. Edie, okay. All right, thank you. That's what I'll call you from now on then. Let's see. One thing about it, Tanya, if nothing else, I can come that way and go fishing. One time there was and it wasn't that long ago, we thought about buying it. There was a dock off from the Illinois River down there. And it was on a lease, a real long-term lease, but I can't remember what they wanted for the dock. But I was going to keep my motorhome there. And then that one time I had that boat, I thought about taking and run the boat back and forth, take it into somewhere up there where I could take it into the water. And then when I'm down there just camping out or something at that dock part, I would have access to my boat. But I didn't get around to it in time, and it's long gone. 2.5 BMC engine in boat, 1.2 liter engine in van. Both proper engines you can tinkle with and fix yourself. None of this plugging into an analytical computer. I have those, analytical computers that you're talking about. I have one that I use on my vehicles. I've got the old OBD ones too. The OBD doesn't tell you a whole lot, but the other ones are pretty good about diagnosing what's there. And then sometimes you can get the schematic of the electrical layout as well if you have a problem. Okay, he says, my favorite for holidays are peanut butter blossom cookies. I like peanut butter cookies, but I don't know what the peanut butter blossom ones are, Caddy. Grandma Bucky says, making Christmas goodies with her mother today. Great. Tanya says, I know some great ponds. Her dad knows them all. His favorite pastime. Yeah, when I was younger, there was a lot of different places I could go, but we were gone a long time. When I come back up here, I mainly fished rivers and lakes and lost sight of a lot of ponds. What else? Debbie, how are you doing today? You got an easy fudge recipe: 1 store-bought tub of frosting, 1 cup of peanut butter, melt in microwave, spread on a pan, and let set. Easy and good. Yeah, sounds good to me. That sounds like one I could handle. uh, Thank you. Yes, Marla, thanks for looking up. Hope you're doing okay. Hope everybody has a great holiday coming up with Christmas and New Year's. This is the first one in a long time that I haven't been with my wife. My neighbors were gracious, enough. They're asked me to come over there and have Christmas dinner with them, which helps out a lot. I've really been blessed with the neighbors I've gotten. I'm happy that I'm where I'm at. The small towns usually are pretty good about taking care of each other, especially when you look out there and generation after generation have lived here are the same families. And if you get along with a couple of families, you get along with half the town then. It goes without saying. Most people are related in some way, or else they've known each other all their life. And they either love each other or hate each other or just stay away or look forward to waving their hands when they see them downtown or uptown or whatever. Edie said, when we had goats, I made goat milk fudge like mad. Something, I've never had fudge made with goat milk, and I've only tasted goat milk a couple of times. My wife liked it. She used to buy it once in a while. Tank Girl says this is the first Christmas without her mom. Lost her to pancreatic cancer back in February. Yeah, pancreatic cancer is pretty hard to cure, and it causes a lot of internal imbalances. It seems to be the center of everything that happens in our body. Sorry about that, having to go through a holiday without somebody that you love so much, Tank Girl. Let's see. I should work on which table TDH acquired for me to use for what purpose. Printer table versus outside plant table. Lots of measurements and discussions. Melissa, good morning to you. Marla says, don't go to the canned goat milk to determine if you like it or not. Now, my wife bought it in the cartons, and I don't remember if she got it at Walmart. See, we have Walmart, Fairway, and Hy-Vees around here, so somewhere there, one of them sells it for sure. Sherry, good morning. Yeah, first Christmas without your husband passed in February. It's going to be probably a lonesome Christmas unless you've got a lot of family around you. I'm still kind of in a suspended fog, not a real fog or anything, but the full reality is still not fell on me, I guess you could say. I get reminded of where I'm at a few times a week, and it hurts sometimes. But I try to keep busy. Is what I try to do at this point, anyway. Melissa, yeah, good morning. Okay, Sherry, you got your couple of kids, a grandson and an aunt. Yeah, keep them close and dear to you. They'll certainly be able to help you through some of this stressful time. Oh boy. Deftones Andy, my dad passed Wednesday, dreading Xmas. Oh my goodness. Prayers out to you. I hope you can get through without getting too. I know it hits me like a sledgehammer. Yolanda, how are you doing this morning? Helen, years passed in April, and your daughters are here, and I'll pray for your healing. I know my daughter and son-in-law are going to be here sometime before Christmas and stay a couple of days. They've been a blessing getting through some of this. Wow. Edie says Walmart used to carry quarts here, not anymore though. PA is not a raw milk friendly state. No, it isn't. They went after the Amish. There was a guy out there supplied a lot of the raw products to people at reasonable prices, and they went after him. Pretty much shut him down. Oh. And Sherry said for her it was yesterday, it was 10 months, and it was an emotional day. Seems like a lot of us in here have suffered a close person having passed in this last year to two. And it is hard to have something like that in common sometimes, because it's hard to try to soften the blow of what's happening without causing more attention to it yourself or to others as you discuss it. Like I say, I try to stay busy. It helps a little bit. My biggest help is our pup and cat. They're on my case. When they're awake, they're on my case the entire time, in one way or the other. A lot of times when I'm sitting here, the cat will come up. She likes to tap me all the time because she wants attention. And once I give her a little attention, then she's good for a few minutes, and she comes right back and does it again. My pup, you'll hear him bark. He's right behind me over here. But at least they take my attention off from other things, and that's helped. Yolanda, good morning, Mr. Ray, and to all. Yeah, if we were all in that one room, we could just walk around to each other and give hugs. It would help. Between that and maybe eating some snacks, whether it's cookies, pies, cakes, or sitting down to one heck of a specialized meal of some kind. If it was like spring or summer, we could always get together every once in a while and have a big barbecue. Where I'm at here, I only have a half-acre lot is what it is. But if I lived in the country, I'd certainly open up and say, everybody come on out for a visit. Let me know when you're going to be here, and we'll make sure you got hookups. But it'd be hard here. if somebody was traveling through, they'd certainly be welcome to use my driveway to uh, get everything squared away and fill up and do what you had to do. That's for sure. I don't know why I was sneezing. Sometimes, my furnace kind of dries the air out sometimes. And with the cold temperatures we've got out there, it's really dry in the house. My lips are just almost chapped. So it makes me sneeze once in a while. He says he's about 2 hours from us. Actually, Ottumwa, I make it down there in less than an hour. It's more like 45 minutes. One of the surgeons, an eye doctor, I see him down there, and then my wife used to too in Ottumwa. I have a regular eye doctor I go to up here in Oskaloosa, but Ottumwa, that's one of the places the specialist goes to. So, and he's the one that did my latest cleanup on my cataracts. Real nice guy. Oh. Tank says she's thinking about driving up to Scotland in a van for Christmas. And I can hear my mom saying, why on earth would you want to do that? From what I've seen over there, it would be fun to go over there for a little bit. Of course, that's thinking way outside of reality for me. When you get to my age, you don't travel well. And if you get sick, it really makes it tough on you. There's some places I wouldn't mind seeing in Germany again. And I really did have a pretty good time when I was over there. The United States I love. I've traveled all over, and it seems like you can never see enough of it. There's so many things out there. Sylvia, she said good morning to the chat and myself. Helen says she's ready for this year to end. We start our new year, turn over a new leaf. Oh. Yeah, he says that guy out there in PA, he was produce also. I'd sell milk marked for animal use only. People from far away would find us when they had children needed it. One caught up with us 22 years ago. That man cried when he saw me. I was raised on whole farm milk, and that was back where the cooler was nothing more than a well house. The water would circulate out of a well up into the cooler tank, and you had these 5-gallon cans of milk that were down in the water, and a truck would come by once or twice a day, depending on the route, and pick it up. And we would always call up out there. It was the first farm on our left going down the road. It was good. It was good milk. And they also had chickens, so I got eggs there too. It was nice and convenient living near the edge of town, but my grandfather had a farm. It would be on that side of the road. There was two farms, and my grandfather's was on the opposite side of the road, if you would. He was on the north side of the blacktop there, and he was on like there was a T coming, and he was at the end of the T on his farm. And then he had a spring-fed a small stream, spring-fed going through there. But he raised these 4 daughters and 1 son on there. So he knew everybody around, and everybody knew him. We could hunt all the farms out there, and when different things were in season, they all knew us, and They were good friends of my grandmother. So, uh, Silly says they have 50 acres and you can boondock here anytime. Well, that's great, Sylvia. Listen, I'll just bring my tents. There you go. uh, Sherry said her daughter wanted to come and stay with her. Yeah, she's had stayed with her daughter for a few weeks. I guess I was not guess. I know I was really lucky. Um, while my daughter spent quite a bit of time here the whole time my wife was in the hospital. And then her husband was able to come up here and spend some time, and he took care of the yard and did some work on my truck and car. And my daughter has spent, I think, been here 3 times since my wife passed away, and spent like a week at a time up here. And it's good to have company, especially relatives. You can talk about a lot of things and take your mind off from what you're going through at the time, right that moment. And for a little bit when they first leave, it's extremely lonesome, but not as lonesome as it would have been. So, like I said, I look forward when I got my daughter here. We talk on FaceTime. Everything helps. It's just a matter of keeping in touch. Oh, Tammy J. Boy, you're... Silverheart said she married her husband at 17 years old. He died during COVID, so did my mother and father and in-law. Then my dad, a massive chunk of my life just gone. My heart goes out to you, Mr. Ray, with losing your wife. My goodness, Silverheart. That is, man, that's a blow after blow after blow, losing that many people in such a short time. And being married to your husband since you were 17, essentially you kind of grow up together. My wife was 16 when I married her, but she turned 17 a couple weeks later. And I was a year and a half older than she was. And her and I, we went together for a year, back when you'd give a friendship ring. And then before I shipped overseas, I gave her engagement ring, and I gave it to her at Christmas. And then a year later, I came back and we got married. And then I had to go back to Germany for another year after that. But she got pregnant while I was home. We had planned on, we were going to fly her over to Germany. I went out and I found an apartment. But because she was pregnant, we decided it might be better there in the States. She was living with her parents at the time. And since I was only going to spend a year there, by the time we had got everything squared away, she would have only been there, let's say 6 months before she would have had to come back to the States. And she would have had to fly back home with a young baby by herself. I wouldn't have been with her because I would have had to come back on a ship, on a troop ship. So we were apart a year. We got to spend both Christmases. Well, no, that only Christmas we missed was that year, but we never missed an anniversary together. So, yeah. Seems like holidays. Hi, Tricky Chi. Good to see you. Edie says that's how I get 2 houses full for the holidays. Yeah. It's funny. people from my generation, a lot of times they get married young and they stay married till one of them passes. Uh, I'm not sure why it's changed so much in uh, 60, 70 years to where it seems like a lot of marriages are only a temporary situation, not necessarily a permanent. Um, well, you were glad that I was home when she got pregnant. Yeah, she got pregnant because I was home. uh, yeah, we got married 9 months later. I was the father of a little boy, and she was the mother of that same boy. Oh, heck. You know, we used to joke around, and, we went out to Washington State because I was at Fort Lewis out there and Fort McCord. And a lot of times when our son would wake up, we just pull him into the bed with us for a little bit, and she would cuddle up with him, and he was pretty active. He was only a few months old, and he was kicking one day, and he got me right in the eye. He gave me a black eye. Oh my goodness. And I mean, it was a shiner. Bam, just like that, he got me. He was extremely active, baby. We used to joke with him later on. Yeah, he gave me a good one. Oh, heck. Gail says that she just celebrated her 44th year yesterday. It's something. It's wonderful to be able to find somebody and spend those kind of years with, because you truly are partners. You put that many years in. If you're happy, you got a lot to look forward to for the balance of whatever you have here on Earth. You really do. But anyway, congratulations, Gail. Oh, hello, everyone. This is Bobby. Hello, everyone. I was making breakfast, but then I realized it was lunchtime. In other words, you started when it was brunch time and made it go into lunchtime. So, Tammy says, hi, Bobby. Edie says, we'll be married 50 years this coming June. Dated for almost 2 years before. Yep. That's the way it was, really. I gave my wife a friendship ring. We went together for a year. Gave her a wedding or engagement ring. And we were engaged for a year. And then I come home from Germany. We got married. I kid you not, the very first time I ever seen her, she was walking down the street with her sister. I seen her. This friend of mine, I was in his car. I said, I'm going to marry her. My wife had that look, and I'm not talking, looked at her because she looked like a model. She was indeed very good looking. Really top notch. But it was more than that. There was something like electric bolt. Anyway, he introduced me, and I couldn't hardly talk. I was stuttering. That's how much she grabbed me. I didn't know her from anybody. I hadn't met her before. So, but anyway, it lasted all these years. So, love at first bite. By the way, she wasn't infatuated with me. It took a while for her to take enough notice to even go out with me, because she turned me down the first couple of times. So she come to her senses and went out with me, and we got married. This one here says, oh boy. You got an aneurysm in your eye. Yeah, silver heart. When my blood pressure was high, there was a vessel that grew in the center behind my retina and pushed it out, and I lost my center vision over it. Um, Once I got everything kind of back in like it's supposed to be, the damage was always done. So the very center of my eye, like if I look through a telescope or something, I can't really see that center. It's black. Nothing in that little bit. But it shows up when they do that eye test where you have all those blinking lights and stuff. Plus, I have glaucoma, which is causing me to slowly lose it. I've got glaucoma in both eyes, but they caught it in time on this one. I don't have hardly any damage in my right eye. Bobby says, I've been dating myself for the past 30 years and still haven't gotten a ring yet. Bobby, we're going to have to figure out how we can put a ring on your finger. uh, uh, Helen said it was 46 years and she wished it could have been more. Yeah, we have to be thankful for the years we have with a person. And I think whether it's a week, a month, a year, or 80 years, the impact of losing somebody you love is identical. And I don't know if I'll ever have that same type of life back as far as being happy. If I was to, I have happy moments because of bringing back some old times or being around a friend or a relative. But generally, in my house, things don't mean as much. There's something, I can't even describe it, but I have more pleasure when I was sharing it with my wife than I do when I'm by myself. And I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, Tammy J says, hi and bye, Tammy. I hope you have a great day. He says, my mother said I had to be 19 to get married because she was, and my sister was, and I turned 19 one Saturday and got married the next. Oh. Now, if I could buy the man to go with it, find the man first and have him buy it. That way, you're money ahead at the time, and you'll find out if he's worth being with. If you buy that ring, just look for the right one. That's all, and pray. Tammy says she was just sending you an email, Helen. Melissa said, hubby and I have been married for 40 years and we're high school sweethearts. It's wonderful when you meet each other at a young age and you end up getting married and you can take it that long. Being married to each other means it was a good decision by both of you, that you were mature enough, both of you, to accept the responsibility of marriage. And Silverheart says your love story is just beautiful. Yeah, but she was something. Says, well, share it with us, Ray. We will love you. Yeah, as old as I am, watching her walk down the hallway, my heart still jumped. Literally, it would do that. Gilda says, Ray, my husband is the same way. Yep, so true. Yeah. When you find the right one, you'll know. Yeah. And I'm glad we had children as well. We got to reap all the benefits that the Lord had to give out there. We were so lucky. And, even the hard times made the good times that much better. That's the way I looked at it. We went through some pretty tough financial crises over the years. And together we solved them. And in my life, the hardest thing to face was when she passed, because I don't have not anyone, but she's not there to share in the good times, and she's not there to help me in the bad times. And the worst time was when she was gone, when she left, when she passed. So. Says, do you take videos you can watch? I've got a camera that, and I've got, that I've taken different things, and I've got it in my storage bank. I've got some, not many, of my wife. My wife was camera shy. But I've got pictures and stuff. And says Tanya said they were childhood sweethearts, age 10, first date, roller skating, and was married 5 years later. Yeah, Tanya, I grew up with a guy that his parents owned the roller skate rink. It was called Armar out there in between Marion and Cedar Rapids. And he used to take the class. He would take a day and we could all go roller skating to celebrate his birthday every year. And I knew him. We grew up together. But I went there religiously all the time. It was a big thing. It's clean fun, and it's social. You get to know everybody out there. The same people skate week after week after week. He had a sister, and his sister looked identical to his mother. And he was a spitting image of his dad. They were younger versions of their parents, and they were gracious, just like their parents were. Extremely outgoing, nice people. They also owned, they had all this equipment there, like a railroad. It was a regular gas engine on it that they pulled around. They had these little trolley cars on tracks, merry-go-round, a real one. Matter of fact, it was donated about, I think, 30 years ago to a place down in Missouri that specialized in them. It had a roller coaster, all kinds of different rides, they twirled around. Little tractors with motors on them that you could ride, in a special area. It was called Seymour Acres, is what it was called. And then there's a ballroom there called Armar, and it was famous all over the state of Iowa. And that's where our teen hops were out there. And we got to see big name bands out there. And so I got to meet a lot of singers and different bands over the years. And that was one of the places I went almost weekly. So, yeah, it was a good era to come up with. And yes, after I met my wife, she was my date for going there. Tree says, hugs, Ray. Gail says, I love seeing you, Ray. You're quite the man. I love you. Yeah. It says here, she's there, Ray. You just can't physically see her. I can, when I'm doing things around here, I hear in my ear, my wife was not we call it bashful. If I did something wrong, she'd call it out. If it was bad enough, she'd say Raymond. Otherwise, it was Ray. A simple thing like keeping the stove clean if I happen to cook something on it, or wiping the sink down or the countertop, stuff like that. Carrying my dirty dishes back into the kitchen. Once I retired, I had to be a responsible citizen in this house. And she would get me every once in a while and bring me up the way I'm supposed to be. And she was right. When I retired, I felt that was a real retirement. I wasn't going to do anything. She said, well, she would never get to retire. That her job was 24/7 and always had been. And there were certain things that she expected me to go in there and help on. And eventually, most of them I complied with. Sometimes she'd joke around with me about something, especially if I'd forget. And I always helped her with the supper dishes. Even though we have a dishwasher, we preferred at night we wash dishes together. It was our time together and we talk. And you're right next to each other the whole time you're doing it. My job was to dry them and put them away in the cupboards. That was my job. Her job, she would rinse them, then wash them, and then put them in the rack. So it actually was enjoyable. There's a lot of things I didn't particularly care to do, but if I was asked to help, I jumped in there and helped. Tiny says, Iowa City was your old stomping grounds. Lived there for 15 years. Yeah, I used to know it pretty well when I was young. It's pretty much a college town, for sure. Silverheart says your wife spoiled you with your steak fillet and pudding and cake. So sweet. She used to make, there's a cookie she made. It was, it's kind of a cinnamon. Yeah. But anyway, the cookie would just melt in your mouth. It was so good. And you couldn't have just one or two. You really, they really got you going. And her pies were perfection, just about. I mean, there was never a pie that she made that I couldn't eat. Let's put it that way. And some of them I couldn't stop eating. And that was probably, I mean, I'm going to miss her cooking. No two ways. Maybe it's because we were together, we found out that eventually we liked the same things. And she taught me a lot about different foods. I got to the point, I don't think there was anything I didn't particularly care for. I really sat down and looked forward to the meals. Joy, well, good morning, Joy. Those fillets that we had, we both enjoyed them. And my wife is not a big beef eater. She actually preferred other cuts of meat, but the fillet was one thing that she did like. And when we bought them, we'd bring home the whole thing. And we'd cut it to the way we wanted it for thickness. And then we'd put them together, two each one. And once in a while, I'd have the butcher do it, and then the scraps that he'd have left over, he'd put in another bag, and we'd cook that up and give that to our pup. So he would get scraps of the fillet, but he was perfectly happy with it. Oh, heck. And fish, she loved fish. Seafood. We were out in California, and she'd never had octopus. You cut it in like rings. It was on the menu, and she didn't know what it was. And I said, "Oh, let's try it." So I got it out, and she tried one. She wasn't real particularly fond of it. When I told her what it was, she wouldn't let me order any more for her. She said that was one she didn't like particularly care of. But as far as shrimp and any type of fish that was from the ocean or from a lake, anything like that, she would really like it. And she had one dish that she used to make and she came up with it when we were in Louisiana. And it does, it's like a crab mix for the center. And she would take filet catfish or filet, trying to think. Anyway, it was a filet of another fish that is common down there. And she would wrap that crab cake type stuff with that. And then she had a special sauce to go over the top that she did. She made it with heavy cream, and there was a certain amount of like olive oil and seasonings and stuff. And she would put that over the top of it, and it was out of this world, absolutely out of the world. And I don't know where the recipe is. I would make it. It was that good, and everybody that tasted it seemed to like it. But she would copy the different sauces that we were down there in Louisiana and make her own type up. Salad dressings and things like that, she would make them herself rather than buy them. Then, dumb old me, I didn't watch her making the sauces that much. So I have one that's just about gone now for salad dressing. And we've been using that for 30 years, that particular style. So, yeah, there's a lot of things I got to learn. Stevie says, I live just out of Iowa City. Well, we'll certainly be able to see each other one of these days, that's for sure. I hope. Bobby says, you were married for 9 years and been divorced for 30. I hope, I hope that your first marriage didn't destroy your outlook, because even though you've been divorced for 30, there may be somebody out there that you just get instantly infatuated with, and don't let that first one, destroy your outlook on men in general. Just to let you know, most men, me included, our mothers spoiled us, and when we get married, the woman that we marry has to unspoil us while she spoils the children. And that's what happens a lot of times. The kids are being so spoiled by the mother, the father gets unspoiled. And then when the kids are all gone, the two of you are equals in marriage, and you kind of operate that way. But it takes a long time to get there. And I think that's normal. I'm not sure. It's the only way I can explain it. Unfortunately, a lot of times I left a lot of the responsibility with my wife of children. I'd work during the daytime, and I thought when I come home, it was all roses. And surprise, surprise, it isn't. It's the hardest time in marriage, because one person shouldn't be saddled with all the responsibilities of household and raising kids and taking care of the budget and doing the banking and all that stuff, paying the bills and stuff. It really shouldn't be one-sided. And it took me a while to undo all the things that my mother had spoiled me with, or my grandmother, or my aunts. They all took their time or turn on it, doing it. And I was spoiled rotten when we got married. And my wife had the good sense. She was mature when we were married. And thank God she was, because if she hadn't been, I don't know what would have happened to us. I really don't. Oh. Yolanda says, Bobby, I was married for 8. Wow. Snickerdoodles. That was it, Tanya. I love Snickerdoodles. My two favorite cookies are sugar cookies and Snickerdoodles. And here, not too long ago, I had fixed this sauce up, a Louisiana type sauce with shrimp and lots of garlic, and it was good. Anyway, and you use milk or cream in it, and it doesn't take long to make. Anyway, I'd forgotten, but my wife, we had two salt shakers, but one of them had sugar in it. One had salt. One was in the cupboard, or the where we keep the cans and stuff, and the other one was in a cupboard by the stove. The salt and pepper were up there. So I get them out, and I'm about out of the salt up there. Here's the other one in the where the canned goods are. I grabbed it. I better use it up because, the moisture and stuff make it hard to rock, right? I'm trying to rotate things. So I'm cooking away. That sugar should have been salt. I'm sitting down at the table, and I can't taste the salt. And because I was looking for salt taste, I didn't notice that I was putting sugar on it. So I think it was around the third time of me trying to get this thing salted up. I put a little bit in my hand. I thought, I've never heard of salt getting weak. And I licked it, and it dawned on me. My wife used that one when she cooked sugar cookies. She would use that to put a little bit of sugar on top of the cookie. Yep. I didn't think about that till it was too late. Oh, Lord have mercy on a husband trying to learn the ropes. So what happens if the husband don't help out a little more? The day comes where they're going to rue that they think they should have got in there and did some things that they were thinking they were privileged not to have to do. Believe me, education in the kitchen, you need. I hear that is my favorite time of the year. Here it's summertime. I wish you good luck, Stevie says. Yeah, it's coming down pretty hard here yet. The snow is. Melissa, good morning, says it was funny with us. We were on a double date with each other's best friend. After the date was over, I called my best friend and told her I was going to marry him. And she's like, that the one you was out. Tanya says, thank you. I need to pray about it first. At 64, that's a big change. No one was out with 2 years later. I was married to my hubby, Melissa. Okay. Steffi said, I will be 65 in July. We'll keep you in the prayers as well. Gail, oh Lord, may God help my hubby when that day comes. I learned a lot of things on a regular basis of things that I should have done, and it's that way. People find out after the fact the should have done's, and with me, there's been a lot of them that I should have done. Part of it was you get complacent and lazy when you get away with not having to do something. And although I did a lot of, like all the mechanic work and stuff like that, or fixing a lot of the fixing, not all the fixing in the house. There were certain things my wife liked to do, like paint. And so she had most of the painting equipment. And we always called the garage here at the house. It's underneath the house over here, hers. And it's neat as a pin. And we have an extra lot out here. And when we bought this place, we put a big oversized garage on it. And it's built just exactly like a house. And her and I, we did the trimming and taping and painting and epoxied the floor. We put the overhead door in and the opener, all that stuff. We wired it. I had a plumber come in and put gas to it and heater. It has all the amenities of a house, except it doesn't have a toilet in it. So that was, I spent a lot of time in the garage because I would either work on cars or I love old engines, miniature engines and things like that, or lawnmower engines. So I've got that kind of stuff out there, and like remote airplane, electric car. I got a couple cars out there, remote quadcopter. Uh, what else? The adult toys that you have. I call them adult toys. I'm not talking about sex toys, like some of the channels out there. No, mine are big boy toys. My fishing boat, that was a big boy toy. I used to keep it in my driveway out here. Things like that, let's put it that way. And they were always needing work done or something to that effect. Well, if there was electrical work in here to do, most of the time I would do it if it needed an outlet. Now, the plumbing part, some of it I would do, but there's a lot of things I wouldn't have the parts. And I didn't want to tear something apart and then go have to try to order it and figure out how to keep that from leaking until we put the new parts in it. So I'd call a plumber in that instance and have them come in because they would have parts on their truck or could get it right away. And we wouldn't have to be down during that time. So, but we kind of figured out what each other was going to do or should do or had to do. And we split it up that way. Now, I tried to be careful when I'd come in the house not to get in her way if she was doing some cleaning or something, because that was not a thing to do. And for the most part, in my garage, I shared everything out there with her because she knew how to use everything that was in there. The wrenches, the carpenter tools, all that stuff. She grew up with, her dad and grandfather were carpenters, good carpenters. And she knew all the names of all the equipment. And we were married long enough, she knew all the mechanical tools, whether it's a 9/16 box end wrench or whatever. She knew what it was. I bought her a lot of tools. And in this garage out here, at the side of the house, she has like a double stacked box on wheels, and she could, take it around to wherever she wanted. She has a electric power washer if she wanted to wash the car. Every other year, she would go out there and use a power washer on the house. She liked to do that. She'd plug it in and do her thing. They kept her busy for about 2 days when she'd do the house. She'd take her time. She's immaculate. And matter of fact, she didn't like help if I was going to help her on something like this because she is meticulous. And I just kind of blow over it. There was a difference in personalities. Anyway, we hit a happy medium where we knew what each other was going to do during our, whether it was leisure time or work time, whatever it was. And we'd kind of throw a barb at each other once in a while if we thought the other one was getting behind. But we just made it fun. We didn't make it as if it was a fight or something like that. And that happens after enough years together. You make it fun. That's the only way I can explain it. So there you go. Another story. Yeah, Steffi said I'm at the end of my third stage COPD. And that's why you see me coughing and some of the trouble with my phlegm. My lungs took a hit with, I had RSV year before last at Christmas, but 2 years ago this Christmas. My wife had it. She was in the hospital, and it probably had a lot to do with her passing this time because of what it did to her lungs. She barely made it through RSV. As far as the COPD, she lost a sister and a niece to it a couple days apart. Okay, Marla. I see you got my name up there. Steffi. Steffi said she was with pneumonia 5 times last year. That pneumonia takes a hit on you every time you have it. My prayer's out for her. Oh, Stevie said, thanks for the hugs, Marla. Yeah, I haven't taken my shots this year yet. I know I've got to get over there and get it done. I don't know why I've been procrastinating, but I just haven't taken the time to go get them. Stevie said she loves Christmas, and so this year we're going to be big for her. Melissa said she's had her share of hospital stays this year. It's no fun laying in a hospital bed, that's for sure. Marla says she loves eggnog. We always made our own when we were kids. You know, where you have the mix the egg in with the milk and you put vanilla and sugar in there. And we never made it with booze or anything, yeah, but that's how we had our eggnog. And it was good. It was always rich. Gail says, what are you doing for Christmas? The dinner time I'm going to spend with my neighbor, as far as my neighbor and their family for the meal. Most of the day, I'll still be back here in my house, and I'll probably talk to my daughter and grandkids and stuff like that, and my son. So it'll be a busy day for me. Cross my fingers. I know that sometime during the day, it'll bother me a little bit. It's kind of like you can be in a crowd, but you're extremely lonely. And a lot of times, that's how I feel. There's plenty of people that contact me and that I'm around, but the one I really want the most is not there. And eventually, hopefully, some of that will slow down a little bit, or I'll be so busy that I won't have time to sit and stew about it. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Melissa said, yep, used to make eggnog growing up, just like you said, Ray. Yeah. Us kids loved it. With the eggs, it's a little thicker. And of course, the vanilla, and they're, and you sweeten it up with a little bit of sugar. It's almost like a malt, really, in taste. To me, it tastes better than a malt. But Stevie says, we'll be thinking and praying for you that day. I'll be praying for all of you out there, too, that you have a good day and that things go well. Most of you out there have had pretty much similar problems that I've faced this year. It's all, like we're all connected in one way or the other of trying to get through some rough times. And it affects each of us pretty much the same way. It causes an emptiness, and there's a description you can't give because there's no word for it. None that I have found. The absence of something that there's no words for is the only way I can describe the feeling. And, Stevie says, LOL, it does. After the new year, I am good with getting away. Melissa says it tastes better than store-bought. Yes, it absolutely does. We made ours with farm fresh milk. And, it would have quite a bit of cream in it. And then the eggs were eggs, they're chickens that spend all day scratching. They're in a coop at the end of the day, but most of the time they were out in the farmyard. And so the yolks are a dark yolk. And the eggs have more, it's a taste I can't describe to you because eggs today are different. They're just different. And it's hard to find good eggs from the farm. Let's put it that way. A lot of times they were fed cracked corn of some kind. And, their main diet was bugs from the yard and a little bit of grass and vegetables and scraps that were thrown out there. So, like I say, it was different taste back then. Every once in a while, I get some farm fresh eggs, and I like them. The yolks actually stand up. I mean, they're not flattened down with the egg. They're up there. They're in the air over half inch. And when you cook them, they're thicker. The egg yolk is. Tanya says, "So happy you have someone close." Tastes better than the store bought. Yeah, Bearded. Good morning, Bearded. Did you just get up? Stevie says, "Yeah, bigger yolks." Yep, definitely. Must say, yeah, if you can get fresh eggs, they're so much better. Yolanda said it's nice to have caring neighbors. I've had the same neighbors here for over 22 years, and it helps. And all of us that are here, we've always got along with each other. I don't know how I happened to hit a neighborhood where everybody was friends from the first. Most of them here that surround me are the same age as my kids. So it was easy for my wife and I to get along with them because, my children are spread out, and it's like watching our children to a certain extent. And we've seen from all of them here, we've seen, their kids and their grandkids coming around. And, when we're gone and we visit somewhere, they kind of watch our place. We used to go at my son, he lives in another state. We'd go fishing, vacation fishing, something like that. And then the last time we were there, we went sightseeing, and we had more fun sightseeing than everything we've ever done on those vacations. We just decided we were going to have a good time. The heck with all that cooking in the trailer or in the motorhome. We went out for meals. And no fuss, no cleanup, nothing like that. We were just out, have a good time all day, and we come back and go to bed. It was a real vacation. Yeah, Steffi, you must have had some packages coming. I've got packages coming. I don't know if they'll deliver to me. Sometimes when it's that much snow out there, they won't walk up the steps. It's a split foyer. So the steps come up and then come up. So it's like a 2-story home on this side. And then the back side is like a ranch. Oh. Stevie says they did it early, just didn't see it through my window by the door. Lord, it is cold out there. A little bit ago, it was only 5 degrees here, and the snow was coming down pretty good. And the snow it's still coming down pretty good. It's fine, a little finer than it was earlier today. So, Bearded said he went to bed at 5:30 this morning. Were you up all night, Bearded? Yeah, right here, and the people who live right next to me, I'm the oldest by quite a bit. Now, when you go 2 doors up, my neighbor up there is a couple years older than I am. He drives past my house every day because at the west part of my house, he's got it's like an open field down there, and he owns 2/3 of that open field going back to the north. And he has a great big metal building on the end of his lot, uh, you know, that is just west of him. And he owns up and around that. I don't know how many acres he's actually got down there. But he's a retired, he used to be general manager for a shop for trucks. And when he retired, he wanted this big shop. He, works on his own stuff, and he's got a motorhome in there and his boat and fishing equipment, stuff like that. His wife has a room down there where making like wood things that go out like in the yard or something like that. It's a shop that's just hers that she has. And then part of their garage up here by the house is a shop made for making lawn ornaments or similar things like that. And they're busy all the time. And like I say, now she's the same age as I am, his wife, but he is 2 years older. But they're busy. They never let anything slow them down. They've been that way ever since I've been here. Barry says, yeah, they call him Dracula. Says here, Betty, your wife sounds like an amazing woman. But my wife, she was, most of you know, she was everything to me. So it has been tough since this new ventures that I seem to be in. Oh, what do we got here? Wow, Tanya, you've got 8 to 10. I might have 6 or 8 out there, but it's still snowing pretty good. I'm in the center that's coming across there, Tanya. I've got as much north as I do south of me, and that band that's coming from the northwest to the southeast. Yeah, it's at quite an angle. Tanya says she bets you're tired, Bearded. I'm surprised you're up at this early, going to bed that late. Yeah, you got 2 this one. See, I've gotten at least 4 inches plus this time, Steffi. Yeah, with all the snow from the other day, that's what made so much. Yeah, the other day I only got 2 or 3 inches. And you add this on there, then 6 to 8 inches probably is out there for sure. It could be more than that. I haven't been out there for a little bit, and I've been on here for a couple hours. Or no, hour and a half. Oh, let's see. Don't forget, Lisa will be on there tonight. Some of their channels I haven't watched much. It seems like everything's kind of like they're revolving all the way around something that's the same thing, and some of it don't make sense to me. It almost seems like they're ad-libbing quite a bit. I don't. I wish I knew more about what was going on. I don't have that patience that I had before, where I could sit down and really watch it. But I don't see anything important coming out of some of those videos right now. I do like watching Lisa's right now. She's getting things going for their Christmas for those children. And it seemed to be working out pretty good so far with people volunteering presents and things. Anybody can afford it might want to help out. There's been some needy people that needed things. Let's see. Moose says first storm 10.3 inches, second storm 3.5 inches. Now this one, they're saying 4 to 7. Yeah, they were saying, I was thinking it was 2 to 5 here, or it might have been 6 to 8 or something like that. It was a little stronger than what they initially thought, at least when I looked at it this morning when they were talking about it here. Oh, yeah. So Steffi says she don't see anything that makes sense either. Yeah, I don't even care if I ever see another one of their vids. I don't see any changes in the channels in the last 2 years that are there. It's just a lot of rhetoric, and the very important part is going to be when it comes court time that we have the right representation that can take care of us. Other than that, I think I've just about had enough of the other crap. I'm fixing hamburger gravy and mashed potatoes, so listening but not commenting. Okay, Tanya. You know what I did the other day, yesterday? I fixed SOS. That's what I fixed. Now, I like biscuits and gravy, and I'm not a big fan of SOS. You know, in the military and other places, they call it shit on a shingle. You know, I fixed up a couple pieces of toast, put the chipped beef and gravy, and put it over the top of the 2 pieces of toast. I had just enough for them to work out. It was okay. It's not something that I'd want to do every day, and it was a lot better than nothing. You know, my breakfast today was better than yesterday. When I was young, I loved it. When I was in the military, the outfit I was in that last year in Germany, every Sunday morning, that's what they would have. And in the afternoon, they'd get the C rations and K rations out. And you never know how old it was, but they would open them up. And so you might have old beef, you might have sardines, and free cigarettes. They have a big barrel there from the cigarettes from clear back in the 40s. And they were fresh enough to smoke. They would have 10 cigarettes in each pack, and they weren't 20 packs. And then most of the time it was Camel and Lucky Strikes. There was one other one, I think. Camel, Lucky Strikes, but there was something else out there they had. But those were the 2 biggest ones. You know, they're no filter cigarettes. Yeah, Lucinda says, I love shit on a shingle. I've ate a lot of it over the years. Like I say, in the military, we had them every Sunday morning in the outfit that I was at. Yeah, Stevie says that was a steadfast food growing up. Yeah, it really was. Marla says her dad loves SOS gravy too. Melissa said Pall Mall. It could have been Pall Mall. I don't know. It probably was. You know, Pall Mall goes back a long ways. Yeah, meatloaf was too. I love meatloaf, and my wife did too. It's not a cheap meal anytime because of the cost of hamburger. But my wife used to like to, whatever we'd have left, she would slice it, you know, so it'd be the size of a slice of bread. And she loved the leftover meatloaf. She would slice it, and she would make a sandwich out of it. And she liked it better that way than when it was first cooked. You know, you put it on your plate with gravy and mashed potatoes and stuff. And one of our go-to meals was roast beef, mashed potatoes, you know, open sandwich, you know, with the gravy on it. Oh. We would both fill up to the point when we get done and have to get up and go sit down. Most of us end up taking a nap. Oh. And in the wintertime, I used to love cornbread and beans. You cook up your navy beans with ham, and the second or third day was better than the first day. The flavors all through it and everything. And I take the cornbread and I put it in like a bowl, and then I put the soup over the top of the cornbread. And then I might have some cornbread on the side, sliced down through the middle, and lots of butter lathered on it. And then some kind of a jelly, grape jelly, or I used to love to put cherry jelly on it as well. So we had a lot of standby foods that we had all the time. And if she made a great big kettle of vegetable beef, that was my favorite that she made, or chicken soup. You can't buy soup in a can like that. You just can't. It's impossible. The seasoning, the freshness of it. But she would freeze a lot of it, and we would have it anytime we wanted it in the wintertime. We never had to worry about it. If it was a cold day out there and we had to do something doing something out there, we come in here and thaw out a little bit of soup, and man, we were in high heaven. Yeah, Marla says her dad had smoked Pall Mall unfiltered. Yeah, my mother used to smoke, and that's what she had smoked. Oh, heck yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Melissa said she grew up on meatloaf sandwiches. They're good. I can eat them anytime. There's so many foods that I can. The problem with me is if I had my way, I would probably sit down and eat all day. Maybe not a lot, each time I sit down. But at the end of the day, it would be too much for me. That for a long time, a lot of my life, I weighed over 250, and a lot of times I was up around 270. Usually when I got that big, I didn't know if I got any bigger than that. I rarely would get on the scale. All I knew was that when I get up over about 250 or 260, I couldn't bend over and touch the floor. I can put my palms on the floor today. Even with that brace in my back, I can get down that far and put my palms. And that's because I lost between 45 and 50 pounds when my wife was in the hospital. It was 2 months. I've never lost that much weight that quick. It just came off. Steffi said she made homemade chicken noodle a few days ago. Doesn't that taste so good on a hot or a cold day? Man, you just almost can't get enough. And if you've got a cold or something, it seems like your cold disappears when you have chicken noodle soup. There's nothing better than that when you're just a little bit off kilter, man. Betty says she buys frozen SOS and thaws it out in the microwave. It's a good way to do it, and it's quick. In a few minutes you've got it. You can if you put your toast in the toaster and you microwave it. By the time the microwaving is done, your toast pops up. You throw it in a plate and you take cut the corner off your gravy and squeeze it out, and there you go. Melissa said her husband doesn't like it. I'm like, you don't know what you're missing. A lot of times it's something that if you grow up with it, it's a staple. And so you can eat it anytime. A lot of foods, especially if you grow up kind of poor, become your favorite foods as you get older. It's like going home, and it's unforgettable. And Steffi says if her hubby eats 2 large bowls, then I know it was good. With soup, it's hard not to get into a second bowl. Yeah, John said he called meatloaf meat cake. It's just another slop food that you can put whatever you want into it, and that's true. You can actually put all kinds of vegetables in there if you want, rice. Stuff it with a little breadcrumbs. There's so many things you can do to extend it, and that's what meatloaf actually is to extend something. A lot of your European foods are made similar to that, so they can make the meat go further. Melissa said, I made a beef pot pie, just waiting to put it in the oven. Yeah, I love stuff like that. Um, I- yeah, one thing I can do is I can make white gravy pretty easy, and it don't take long. If you can get it, like just at least a little bit of a roux going, so you got some goodies to pull up. It doesn't take a lot of meat particles, and if you don't have meat for your white gravy, you can use other things. You can use different vegetable flavorings, and it's just as good. Um, and then you can put that gravy on anything. You can make any kind of a sauce. A lot of times I throw Philadelphia cheese in my white gravy to give it a little more richness. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that you've got all the flour in it that you're going to put in it. Don't go back later and try to put more in it. You won't be able to get that taste through there. It'll get more of a floury taste. You don't want that. You want the goodies that you had in the bottom of the pan in everything. And once you're past that stage of getting it coming up, adding flour to it's going to mess it up. If it gets too thin, you just have to cook it till you thicken it back up. That's all. We were poor growing up. Mom used to make cream tuna and peas over toast for dinner. It was pretty good. It is good, and I've had it that way. By the way, most of our food that we had, my wife would, soups and stuff, she always put peas in there, corn, carrots, celery. By the time you put all that stuff in there, and the second day is so much better than the first day. It's great the first day. You're hungry for just smelling it. But the second day, it's all kind of combined, and it gives it that wholesome taste and feel. JP, Jan, we were poor growing up, and Mom used to make cream tuna and peas over toast for dinner. It was actually good. Yeah, Jan. Mom made pork and beans, onions, and ground beef. Just threw it in a skillet and let it cook. Yep. Tastes great. When my boys were young, I had this little stove, a little Coleman stove. You put gasoline in it and you pump it up. And I'd take pork and beans and hot dogs with us. If we didn't catch fish, I'd get the pork and beans out and the hot dogs, slice them up, and put them in there, and we'd cook it till we got it tasting pretty good. And they always enjoyed it. We'd do it right along the bank of where we were at. But it's just kind of something it always tastes better when you're out there doing something like that. And if you have fresh fish and you catch it, and you wash it off a little bit, usually in the water that you caught them out of, but you can. It doesn't matter whether you bread it or not. If you don't bread it, just put enough butter in there to season it up a little bit, and salt and pepper. And you don't have to go any further with it. Throw your filet or your fish in there, however you want it, and cook it up, but don't overcook it. Man, that's good. It's just, it's just a good way to have a good time along the fish bank, or, bank of a river or creek, or wherever you're going to be. Let's see. Grease to flour, equal points. Parts. Yeah. You can slice boiled eggs in white gravy also over toast. Yeah. Yep. Cornbread. I like anything with cornbread. We had in the mornings we might have cornmeal mush. Okay. And if it was left over, we fried it. We might have it at lunch or supper time. And you can always throw an egg on top of it. Egg over easy or sunny side up, whatever it is. Cut the yolk and let it just dissipate. Cornbread, you can have it just any way. And if you decide to sweeten it up with a little honey or sugar, it's just like cake. Oh, man. I think of all the ways, and I love it if you put a few jalapenos in it, slice it up nice and fine, put it in there. I love it that way. There's so many ways that you can dress it up. you should never get tired of it because there's that many things. It's kind of like a pork loin by itself. It's bland and it's easy to cook and easy to tenderize, and it's one of the cheapest meats you can buy on a hog. And we always buy the big loin and slice it up. And sometimes we'll slice the center, open it up, and put like a bread dressing in there with seasoning. I put it in the cooker before and seasoned it, with a little garlic, and you can just like you would with root, like maybe celery, and we always like a little bit of carrots, stuff like that, just to give it a tang. And that meat will hang on to it, and it's there with that. Or you can make a roast and overnight put it in a seasoning of some kind, especially if it's like a Italian dressing style stuff. Put it all over it, and puncture it and do all kinds of stuff. And you don't have to overcook it. You put it in there just enough to keep it tender and moist, and slice it when it comes out. And it tastes like the best meat you can buy in a restaurant. A lot of people don't realize how good those loins are. They've cooked them and they've been bland and they didn't care for them, or they're a little tough. Just tenderize them good, with a meat tenderizer, and then throw your seasoning in there. Do it overnight if you want. Put it in a slow cooker if you want. They all will make this thing be the best thing you ever had when you get done. Season it to your taste. Beans and dogs were my favorite. She used to make cinnamon buns with it. Funny how the budget used to get stretched with easy foods back then. That's true, Jan. Poor people's meals end up being tasting the best because of what you use for seasoning in it, and the preparation that goes involved in it to make it palatable. It makes it a great food. Oh my. Jan says logged on while eating lunch, a frozen pizza. Now I'm wishing I had made something different. That always happens when you start talking about food and your mouth gets all moist because you're anticipating what the taste is and the memories you had of it. Oh, Melissa said, yeah, you make that cornmeal mush fried with eggs on the side. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh. 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 John says, just sent you a picture of my new hat, Bearded. I missed something in there. Edie said, got to go, Ray. Have a great day. It was great having you in here. It's kind of fun to talk about something that's that we can anticipate the taste or how to do it. Or I always feel better about food. It's something that that the poor person can enjoy if it's at hand. That you can take a bunch of leftovers and make a king's meal out of it, and I love that. Oh, I think when I lived in Louisiana, a lot of those meals were, it started out more like leftovers, and they made these wonderful tasting meals, and you can freeze them and have them for another day. Fix a big batch. You didn't have to worry about making a batch for just one. You make a batch as big as you want, and you freeze part of it, or refrigerate whatever you're going to be able to eat in the next 4 or 5 days, and you have a wonderful meal all the time. It's always ready. Yeah, we didn't use cake mixes when I was a kid either, Jan. One of the cakes my mom used to make was called a chocolate mayonnaise cake. It was real moist. Oh, and she would put homemade chocolate frosting on it, made with cocoa powder. I don't know what else she put in it back then, but oh Lord, was that good. And it was so rich and moist. Everything was from scratch. Jan said, yeah. When she would bake bread, I could smell it from almost a block away. To this day, I can feel it and taste it. And the homemade noodles, egg noodles, uh, all done by hand. Rolled out by hand, cut by hand, the whole works. Oh, are those good? Oh, they're saying wind chills will be well below zero, like -30, Steffi said. Yeah. I think the wind chill this morning was down below zero. I know I only had 5 air temperature out there. Yeah, it's cold here, Jan. This morning when I got up, it was around 5 degrees out there, and then it was still there when I came back here to put this up at 10 o'clock. So it was just as cold. I don't know what it is right now. I've been here, sitting here up for almost 2 hours. Homemade spaghetti sauce too. Yeah. Yeah. I like my sauce a little on the thick side. And I do like some tomatoes, either diced or sliced up a little bit, and with my sauce. I like that fresh tang from fresh tomatoes in the sauce if I can have it. And if it's stuff out of a can, I can eat it too. We might add our own special seasoning in it or whatever, but I'm going to shovel out the snow we just got after this tomorrow. I'm remaining in flannel pajamas and hibernating. Okay, Steffi. I've done that a couple of times in the past few weeks. Oh, heck. Jan says it sounds like a great day to spend the day, and that's from Jan. I'm just back. Cindy said, just went through hell on the phone to find somewhere to go Tuesday when I have to leave. Oh, shit. Cindy, how did you come out? And by the way, Cindy had on her channel, has a thing so that you can donate to help her out if you'd like to her PayPal account, I think it is. Cindy's on there right now. She was pushed out of her home, and looks like, yeah, she's got to leave this Tuesday, I guess. But anyway, like I say, she has something on her channel there. Go to her channel, and you can see it up there. She's here in the chat. So if you can, please go to her channel and help her out and see what we can do for her. She's had some real bad times. She lost her son recently. And when I say recently, I mean very recent. And part of it is trying to keep everything together, and the finances are hard to keep with it. It just, things, when it rains, it pours. There you go. You see that right now, it's Cash App is $Field S Cindy 100. Okay. So go to her channel, pick up on that. It's in channel right now there. Anything would be appreciated, by the way, everybody. Cindy, I'm praying for you and the best wishes for you. Let's see what we can put together here in the next few days. Sevi said today with drifts we'll need a shovel. Yeah. Jan says, that is sad. My son was murdered 3 years ago and the pain is beyond words. Praying for you, Cindy. And Cindy said, thank you, everyone. My channel has a GoFundMe. Her channel is Cindy Fields. You see it on there. She's one of the mods in this channel, by the way. So if you can help her out, please do it. Tanya says, prayers and love you, my dear. Cindy said she loves all of you. She's got her hearts up for everybody out there. This is the time of the year it makes it so hard on everybody. And it truly feels sometimes like when it rains, it pours, and we feel it tenfold this time of the year. I'm I'm kind of still foggy, but the people out there have helped me feel better, so much better. And I am thankful that you guys come in and chat and do things like that. And I'm really thankful that we can come up with some happy things to talk about because it makes the day go so fast that it just seems like I need the speed coming up and just be able to talk about anything, whether it's, and I'd love to be able to, we can all talk about some of our holiday spirit times and the foods that we love, the soul foods for our era. I'll tell you, Cindy, I hope you have great luck getting that apartment. I'm just hoping for you to get it. Lutheran, Rich. Glad to see you on there, Rich. Hope you're going to have a fine holiday coming up. Not served. Oh my goodness. How many days we got left, Rich? There's Steffi says, hi there, Richard. Jan wants to know if you've been hiding. What do you say there, Steffi? Yeah, that's a Christmas color there, it looks like. I was hoping I'd get you to help me out here in a few days. They gave until early January. I thought it had to be done this month in December. I must have missed something out there, Rich. Praying eviction is not used against me. Never missed one payment in 27 years until her son's funeral. It's a cold world out there, Cindy. And some people, they don't have the empathy, or the heart, I guess you'd call it. And it makes it tough. There's people that have taken advantage of other people over the years, and what happens is innocent people that really need help are hurt the most at that point. And I feel sorry when a hammer comes down on somebody when they don't deserve it in any way to have something like that happen to them. I hear my telephone going crazy out there. I don't know what that's over. Janice is very true, Ray. I know, recently within the last 2 years, I had to evict somebody. And that was after multiple times of helping out. The result was, it cost my wife and I over $30,000. And we chose not to make their life any worse than it was. We didn't chase them down. We didn't take them to court to get anything back. We just, the house was destroyed. It was used as a flop house. When we had financed these people, financed them, they had young children in the house and they separated and they went their separate ways. And I allowed one to take over the home. and I had to take it away from him after about a year. I'd had complaints from the police department and almost every one of the neighbors that had turned into a flop house. And I went over, tried to deal with them, a lot of promises. The end result was I got with the local force, the department, and lawyers. I did it the right way. There was no surprise. I went over there. I had one of the officers was there to watch as an observer. And I removed 12 people out of that house. And at least half of them were so high, they didn't even know where they were at. Some of them were walking in circles in that living room. I had never seen something like that in my life. As it is, they migrated to another flop house. There's several in that town. I sold the house within a week, and I sold it for what the lot was worth. I didn't want to have to go through rebuilding it. I absolutely wouldn't have rented it out or sold it on a land contract. And I'm too old to chase somebody down, and I chose not to. During COVID, I let him go through halfway through COVID without making a payment. I knew that they were hurting. It was at a time when it was hard to find work. I don't feel bad about it, but it would make it harder for me to offer that same assistance in the future. One is I'm too old, and the other thing is I got burnt by them, and I can't really afford to do that again. And do I feel bad about it? Not really. I don't. If I needed it, the money or something, it probably would have made a bigger impact on me. But it's not something I can't take what little I have with me. And I don't feel like waiting 10 or 15 years for somebody to pay me a debt they owe. And I don't want to saddle my kids with having to make a collection on somebody. All it does is it ruins your disposition. So it was a lesson learned late in life, and life is better for it in real terms. And I wouldn't have destroyed their life regardless. They still have young children that they got to worry about. I can only hope that they do better in the future, and maybe they'll learn something from it. But that happens. Oh, Tanya says, good news, not served. Well, I got an idea that Richard or Rich, they're probably just, they use it more for content, because once a week they can gripe about it and they call you names. And I mean, you've seen all the stuff out there that they throw at you. They're making money by not serving you. That's obvious. And he's not going to meet you in your throwdown either, or his throwdown he threw to you and you accepted it. I mean, that's plain to see. He's just using it. That's all. One of these days, maybe you'd be lucky enough, you'll happen to walk down a corridor when you're going to one of these court things, and there will be no company there. We can always wish. Said, I'll tell everyone a secret. All right, I'm all ears. Let's hear it, Rich. And Jan says, oh, do tell. You've got their attention, Rich, so bring it on. Mike has explosive breaking news on Doreen Turner Ingalls. Ha! I know she was giving him some crap the other day. Isn't that the one that is hooked up with Shockett? He's going to be publishing an article very soon. Great. Yeah, she took a shot at him. Was it the day before yesterday, Rich? Not Jan says she will watch this one. You're not going to say anything else. Okay. Just be that way, Rich. But I understand. I know you guys, you get your articles out there and you try to get enough people in there to make it worth publicizing. And then you guys always do pretty well on it. So they'll be running for the hills. Is this the type of race that we can put numbers on their back or what? These guys, some of the stuff that they publish, I can't believe that they think all of us are gullible or what. It don't make sense. Bang bomb, H bomb. Okay. We got you bearded. G Sky says, good morning, everyone. I've been listening, just busy in the kitchen. I hope you were cooking up something great in there. Everybody here has come with different things to make everybody hungry, and we're getting right there. We're at lunchtime, and we're at our optimum for hunger. Lutherman says, Rich says, I think Germ already put targets on their backs and their law offices or law licenses. Stuffy says, I think Jade's afraid to go toe-to-toe in court with you, either that or his lawyer is. That might be part of it. I think more than anything, they're still trying to make all that money. And in the last few weeks, he has had more people come in to his channel than he has probably in 6 months. So it is ramping up. And if you notice, all of them around him are ramping up, even though they're talking about stuff that they've already put on their channel before. They're making it bigger and bigger with enthusiasm in hopes of stirring the pot more and more. John's in the channel here. He says, hi, Richard. Beer says, Germ fears Lutherman. I don't think he wants to meet Rich, and no matter where it might be, he's going to leave that to somebody else. By the way, I have hopefully sometime in the next week or 10 days, I'll have my house all secured. And it's been something I'm going to do for a long time, and I figured now is the time to do it. There's been enough threats and stuff out there, and then the people that have found their way to my place, I figured it was time to protect it. And I have every intention of having all that completed sometime the next week or 10 days. So provided the temperatures aren't so bad that I can't get cameras hung out there. Couldn't resist. They look ridiculous in the stuff they put out or put on. Yeah. I'm putting 2 different security types of systems in there. One was able to get a good deal on, but there's another one out there that the local chief has at his place that works great. And so I intend on, once that's done, this other one, I'm going to put the other one in, I hope, the first part in January. One of them, it'll, if somebody comes in my place, they'll set up a notice. That's about all I can say about that system. It's one I got to be careful with. I don't want to accidentally trip it when I'm in here. Glad to hear it, Ray. Hubby just ordered a set of cams for our place as well. Says something about the world that we live in out in the country, small town, and needed to add them. Yeah, I think it's getting worse and worse out there. And when you get involved with something like we have been here lately, it is. I, I like just having something on here where we can kind of talk a little bit rather than chasing other people down. Um, it's not that I'm not doing a little bit of looking out there, but I'm looking in from a different perspective. And rather than put everything up here, it's more of a trying to protect down the road. Some things are better left for the court to decide than for me to speculate over. And some of the stuff I can't get done unless I keep my mouth shut. So on a local level, I took care of things, from the standpoint of legal measures rather than saying I'm going to do something. What I was going to do is already done. And now I'm more relaxed. I'm not as worried. And the cooperation is going on. It's been horrendous. Small towns can protect themselves if you're not a jerk when you're in their town. Okay. And the stinkers will stay away from you. I can tell you that for sure. And the good citizens of the town will stick together and protect each other. That's a surety. So, but here we don't have anybody out there stirring the pot either. There's been a few that sat out here and watched. When my wife was still alive, they watched her mow the grass. In all the years we've been here, it's never happened like that. And it happened a couple more times pretty quick after that with different vehicles. It wasn't just one. And then since then, I've had one come in over here a couple times. And then that one guy in the Jay Hip, his channel, that had said he was going to come down here and check on my RV. I don't know if he did or not. Pretty much everybody is looking for this guy. He claims to be from here, but so far, no luck. Most of the town has tried to come up with it for me. And eventually it'll come out. If the guy actually lives around here, it'll come out. I got an idea it's probably from a satellite town around here, but not from here. We'll see. Jan says, that's crazy, sick people. It could very well be somebody that's trying to pretend and is trying to look big with that channel at Jay Hip. You've got people out there who do anything for attention. So the heck with that guy. I'm not going to worry about him. Lutherman says Jay Jip. Yeah. Oh, well. After my son was killed, we were also threatened. So we put up security lights and cams, and they have sirens. Yeah. I've got some noisemakers coming. If they break in, they'll wish the heck they never set them off. Oh, heck. The Jay Hip guy actually put me in a video singing the Polymop song, singing the F and the Polyop song. Wow. He's weird. Jan says it does scare him. Well, you can buy a combo, okay? And it has to do with the loud noises. There's a certain frequency you can use on people who are breaking into your house. But you want to make sure that, like I'm going to have one system I'll use when I'm not here and another one that I'll use when I am here. And one of them I can trigger from my phone. So actually two systems I'll be able to trigger from my phone. There's also one that you can get, believe it or not, that is a lighting type system, and you can guide it. So if you happen to be somewhere away and somebody breaks in your house, you can make them wish they'd never had did it. It's a good system, works very well. The one thing you have to be careful of is there's certain laws that make it so that you can't cause permanent damage to somebody. So be careful what you buy or what you use. They used to have these, like a Bang Bang. It's a military type trip wires, and you use a 12 gauge blank, and it it works excellent. It scares they'll jump 3 or 4 feet off the ground when they happen to trip one, but it won't do any damage to them. It just scares them. That's not a bad one, but the problem with it is if I was to put them around here, something like that with a tripwire, there would be somebody's pet do it, and it might scare them into running out in the road or something like that. I don't want anything like that to happen. I'm more interested in stopping somebody from getting into my house, and if they get in my house, they'll wish they hadn't. That's the type of system I want, and that's why I bought 2 different types of stuff. Oh, let's see. Beer says, Cindy, I'm Googling it and go from here. I know I have a problem still with it. That's why I never do it. You have to do what you can. Cops want proof ID. Yeah, the system I'm putting in is pretty good. And if I get them close enough, they'll be able to identify them off from it. And there's software out there that will enhance whatever you get on there. If you need it, it works pretty well. So we'll just see. I'll be able to find out who this joker is and come down my driveway and park. That guy was brave enough. You can't tell if I'm home. Everything's undercover. Can't see it. So people get stupid enough, they might pull in my drive. This one guy's pulled in here twice now, and a neighbor happened to see him but didn't get their license number. Yeah, supposedly the systems I've got have a combo light system. One is the red light, and the other is supplement light, where light goes on. And I can control both. If it happens to do an alarm, I can switch it over. It'll work. I don't know how. It may end up grainy. Sometimes night vision is extremely grainy. I do have a camera, and I can hold it up there and turn the infrared light on, and they look kind of green, and I can see them. I might not be able to identify them with that, and I can reach out almost a block with it. I can count the leaves, like on a tree next door with it, but I operate that by hand. I'm going to put some. John says I'm going to put some bouncing betties around the perimeter. Yeah. The tripwires, from quite a while ago, I didn't use them in the Army. I was aware of how to use different things. And, like whether it's a tin can or a bottle or anything, but the one with a 12 gauge shell in it, that's probably one of the best ones. That one you can hear for quite a ways, and it doesn't do damage to them. But I just didn't want to scare pets. We have a lot of animals through here, wild animals as well. We have deer and raccoon, possum. There was a bobcat in our backyard one day. We've had eagles come into the backyard. So, I don't want to bring undue harm to them either. The systems that I'm looking at right now, if there's going to be any harm, it'll be because I can control it, through my telephone. It won't be because they accidentally trip something. It's against the law in state here to use deadly force on a person when you're not manning it. In other words, if you lay a trap for somebody and it does away with them, they're going to come after you. It's against the law. If you're there, you can do whatever it takes. We have the stand your ground law here, so there's nothing you can't do. So the system I'm putting in is one that I can control, and it's legal. That's the only thing I can tell you. Jan says, we'll have to go and start decorating the tree. Have a great day. Everyone be safe. I brought out a tree a small one that already has the lights and ornaments on it. I didn't feel like doing a lot of decorating and stuff like that. But this one, my wife had picked out years ago. And when we got to the point where it took too long to set everything up and tear down, that was kind of a tree to go to. We just put a bag over it and put it away in a closet. And it takes less than 10 minutes to do that, and the same amount of time to take it out and plug it in. So, and it still brings some joy in a house because it brings part of Christmas back in. Let's see. Well, it is lunchtime almost everywhere out there. I think I'll call it a day. I've been on here for 2.5 hours. And it is time I let you guys go back to whatever you were doing. We're getting close to Christmas, prepping for Christmas this time. You should have already been eating lunch. If not, you need to go and start preparing for it. So with that, I'm going to let everybody go. And hope you have a good week. Good Lord willing, maybe I can come back on tomorrow for a little bit. If you get a chance, go into Lisa's channel tonight. I don't know what's going on there as far as what she's got up tonight. Some of her shows, she's been showing different things that she's prepped to put out there for sale or giveaway, all kinds of stuff. So, and they're celebrating the Christmas this year for children. And it's a Holly Lee Christmas this year. I hope everybody is going to enjoy themselves. When you give a gift, the gift of giving gives you a gift right back. It makes you feel good, and you're doing the Lord's work when you do something like that. Melissa, it's nice chatting with you, Ray. Have a good day. Hugs to you and everyone else. Yes. So everybody out there, have a great week if I don't get back in here too soon. Don't let me bore you. If I do, just for you ladies, go out there and learn how to knit while I'm talking. For you guys, put me up on a dartboard up there. You can have all kinds of fun, make a game out of it. And for everybody else, we'll just get in here and we'll all tell stories. How's that? John says ta-ta to everybody. And John made that famous around here. So, John, ta-ta. See you later. Let's end this right now.